Have you ever woken up, made your morning coffee, sat down, and just felt like something was missing? Not something physical, not your glasses, not your keys, but something deeper, a sense that the world around you has gotten a little quieter, a little smaller, and maybe, just maybe, a little lonelier. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Retirement is supposed to be the time of life where we finally relax, breathe, and enjoy everything we've worked for. And sure, there's freedom. No alarm clocks, no meetings, no traffic jams. But that freedom can sometimes feel empty. Like the structure of your days has vanished, and the people you used to see, coworkers, neighbors, even acquaintances at the store, just aren't around as often anymore. It's a quiet shift that creeps in slowly. One day you're busy with family, hobbies, errands, and the next, you realize you haven't had a real conversation in days. Not just a text or a comment on Facebook, but a true face-to-face moment of connection. That's what we're talking about today, because no matter how old you are, your world doesn't have to get smaller. In fact, it can grow in ways you never imagined, if you know how to keep it open, rich, and emotionally alive. Today we're going to talk about 7 powerful ways to stay social and emotionally strong after 60. These are simple shifts, practical, doable, and deeply impactful. You don't need to be an extrovert. You don't need to travel the world. You just need to be open to reconnecting with yourself, your community, and the joy of everyday life. So let's start with something many of us overlook: rebuilding routine. When you stop working, you lose more than just a paycheck. You lose rhythm, a sense of purpose. Even if work was stressful, it gave structure to your day. You knew when to wake up, what needed doing, where to be. Without it, time can become a blur. Mornings spill into afternoons, and days feel long but empty. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a new routine that supports your emotional well-being. Start simple. Wake up at the same time each day. Schedule a morning walk or a chat with a friend. Plan something small each afternoon, even if it's just reading a book at your favorite park bench. The point isn't to stay busy. It's to give your day meaning. Purpose doesn't disappear with retirement. You just have to find it again in new places. Now, let's talk about something that might feel uncomfortable at first: making the first move. When you're younger, social interactions are built into your life. You're surrounded by classmates, coworkers, parents at your kids' events. But after 60, many of those social circles begin to shrink. People move away. Families get busy. Some friends drift or sadly pass away. It's easy to sit back and wait for someone else to reach out. But the truth is, and I say this with love, you might be waiting a long time. If you want connection, you have to be willing to take the first step. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Invite a neighbor over for coffee. Join a local club or group, even if it feels awkward at first. You don't need dozens of friends. You just need a few solid connections. People you can laugh with, share a meal with, talk honestly with. And here's the secret most people don't tell you. Others are just as hungry for connection as you are. They're just waiting for someone brave enough to go first. Let that someone be you. And if you're thinking, but I'm not the social type, here's something to remember. Social doesn't mean loud. It doesn't mean being the life of the party. It means being present, engaged, open. Even a short, kind conversation with a cashier or someone at the library can lift your spirits in ways you didn't expect. Now, let's touch on something that often gets overlooked: volunteering. Not only does it get you out of the house and around others, but it also gives you a deep sense of purpose. Purpose is fuel for emotional strength. When you give your time, your wisdom, your kindness, especially to causes that matter to you, you begin to feel that your days have weight again. Value. Whether it's helping out at a local food bank, mentoring a younger person, or walking dogs at an animal shelter, giving your time to others helps you feel more connected to the world. It's a way to shift your focus from what you've lost to what you still have to give. And that shift can be life-changing. So far, we've talked about rebuilding routine, making the first move in social situations, and finding purpose through volunteering. Each of these is a stepping stone towards something bigger, a fuller, more vibrant life after 60. One where your world doesn't shrink but grows, where you wake up with more energy, more connection, and a sense that your best years aren't behind you. They're still unfolding, right here and now. And speaking of unfolding, let's look at something that may surprise you: how much your environment impacts your emotional and social well-being. The truth is, your surroundings can either lift you up or quietly drain your spirit. After 60, many people start spending more time at home, which can be comforting, but also isolating if that space doesn't encourage movement, interaction, or creativity. Take a moment to think about the spaces you spend the most time in. Do they feel alive? Do they invite you to do something? Call a friend, read, listen to music, step outside? Or do they make you feel stuck, small, maybe even invisible? Small changes can make a big difference. Open the curtains and let the light in. Place a comfortable chair near a window where you can read or people watch. Create a social space in your home, even if it's just a little corner, where you can sit with a friend for tea or have a good conversation. Make your space work for you, not against you. And if you're able, spend time in shared community spaces, parks, coffee shops, libraries. Even being around people without talking reminds you that you're part of something bigger. And that brings us to another powerful but often overlooked tool for staying emotionally strong: learning something new. Now, I know, when people say keep your brain active, it can sound like homework. But this isn't about cramming for a test. It's about curiosity, about finding joy in exploring things you didn't have time for when you were busy raising a family or building a career. Maybe it's picking up a musical instrument, learning how to bake something new, or taking a class on photography or art. Maybe it's exploring your family history, writing stories from your childhood, or finally learning how to use your phone without asking your grandkids for help every time. Every time you challenge your brain in a fun and engaging way, you not only build mental strength, but you also boost confidence. And that confidence spills into every part of your life, including how you connect with others. Because here's the thing, when you're learning, you're growing. And when you're growing, you naturally start seeking out more connection, more conversation, more life. People are drawn to others who are passionate and curious, and age has nothing to do with it. Now, I want to talk about something that's a little closer to the heart: nurturing your existing relationships. After 60, the quality of your relationships becomes so much more important than the quantity. You don't need 20 friends, but you do need a few people who truly see you, value you, and love you for who you are. But even those relationships need care. Life gets busy, even in retirement. People get distracted, caught up in their own routines. Sometimes we take each other for granted, but just like a plant, a relationship needs water in the form of time, attention, and kindness. Reach out. Schedule regular catch-ups with your closest people, a weekly phone call, a monthly lunch. Share what's really going on with you and invite them to do the same. Be present when you're together. Put the phone down, make eye contact, and listen. Not just to respond, but to truly understand. And don't forget to say the things we sometimes assume are obvious. I appreciate you. I love spending time with you. You matter to me. Those words go a long way in making people feel seen. And when they feel seen, they see you more clearly in return. One more thing here. Don't let pride or old misunderstandings stop you from reconnecting with someone who once mattered. Time has a way of softening edges. It's never too late to send a kind message or start fresh. And even if that person isn't able to meet you halfway, the act of reaching out, of choosing connection over silence, strengthens your own emotional core. So far, we've explored the power of routine, stepping outside your comfort zone, finding purpose in volunteering, creating an uplifting environment, reigniting your curiosity through learning, and nurturing meaningful relationships. Each one of these actions is like adding fuel to your emotional engine, giving you energy, hope, and momentum. But I want to pause here and say something that may be the most important part of this entire conversation. And it's this: you are not done. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are not someone who needs to step aside so the younger generation can take over. You are still here, and that matters. Your experiences matter. Your stories, your laughter, your voice, all of it is still needed in this world. Sometimes the world doesn't say that loud enough. Sometimes it treats older adults like they're fragile or irrelevant. But I promise you, that couldn't be further from the truth. You still have the power to inspire, to create, to connect, and to thrive. This chapter of your life can be rich with meaning, full of beauty, and deeply fulfilling. If you choose to stay open to it, that's what all of this is about. Not just filling time, but filling your soul. And as we keep moving forward, there's one more piece to this puzzle that ties everything together. And that's taking care of your emotional well-being from the inside out, by learning how to enjoy your own company. Now, this might sound strange in a conversation about staying social, but here's the truth most people overlook. The better your relationship is with yourself, the stronger all your other relationships become. If you can sit with yourself in peace, without needing to be constantly distracted, entertained, or validated, you start to develop a deep kind of strength. A quiet confidence that radiates to the people around you. Too often, we're afraid of being alone because we think it means we're unloved or forgotten. But solitude isn't the enemy. In fact, learning how to enjoy time by yourself, to take a walk, sit on a bench, listen to music, reflect, write, pray, or simply breathe, can be one of the most healing things you can do for your spirit. This doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means building a home within yourself that feels safe and whole, so that when you do connect with others, you're coming from a place of strength, not neediness. When you're okay with being alone, your friendships become about joy, not survival. And that's a beautiful shift. Of course, no one thrives in complete isolation. We all need human contact. We all need warmth, laughter, shared experiences. So if you've been spending more time alone than you'd like, if you've found yourself thinking, I don't want to bother anyone, or everyone's busy with their own lives, I want you to pause and challenge that thought. You are not a burden. You are not too much or too old to be included. The world needs people like you. Wise, resilient, thoughtful. So don't wait to be invited. Be the one who knocks. Be the one who calls. Be the one who reaches out. And while you're at it, give yourself permission to make new friends. Yes, even after 60, especially after 60. You might not find them at a nightclub or on social media, but they're out there. At community centers, at a book club, at a yoga class or walking group or a place of worship, or even online in safe, welcoming spaces for seniors. You're never too old to be surprised by someone new, someone who gets you, who laughs with you, who brings a little light into your day. You just have to be willing to stay open, to say yes more often than no, to believe even when it's hard that the best days of your life don't have to be behind you. Let's take a breath here and reflect for a moment. We've talked about so much today, but at the heart of it all is one truth. You have more control than you think. Yes, life changes after 60. Routines shift, people move on, bodies slow down. But your spirit, that's yours to guide. Your mindset, your willingness to connect, to grow, to love, that doesn't age unless you let it. You are the author of this chapter. You get to decide what kind of story it will be. So maybe today is the day you reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe today you step outside and strike up a conversation with someone at the park. Maybe today you look into volunteering, or joining a group, or picking up that hobby you've always pushed aside. Or maybe today you simply sit with yourself, take a deep breath and say, I'm still here, I still matter, and I'm not done yet. That single thought, truly felt, can shift everything. And before we wrap up, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. The fact that you're watching, that you're seeking ways to stay emotionally strong and socially connected, means you care about your well-being. You're showing up for yourself. That matters. If anything we talked about today spoke to you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe a small change you plan to make, or something that's helped you stay connected during this season of life. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you found value in this video, please give it a like. It helps more people find this content. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more down-to-earth advice, inspiration, and support as we navigate this incredible phase of life together. Remember, aging isn't about fading away. It's about becoming more you than ever before. Here's to staying open, staying connected, and living a rich, full, emotionally strong life, no matter your age. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care of your beautiful self.